Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CTN Community Update. A late night storm on Labor Day toppled dozens of trees around Coon Rapids, sending city crews and homeowners into action. The central part of the city, from west to east, was hardest hit, as you can see from this map, which shows all of the boulevard trees downed in the storm. City crews have about 80% of the downed boulevard trees cleaned up in the hardest hit neighborhoods and should have all the boulevard trees cleared by the middle of next week. Yards will be restored this fall and new trees planted in the spring. Property owners are responsible for cleaning up any tree debris on private property. Winds topped 60 miles per hour during Monday night's storm. Lawmakers stopped in Coon Rapids this week during a 3-day tour of Minnesota. State representatives looked at dozens of projects vying to be part of next year's bonding bill. CTN's Jennifer Anderson takes a look at why Anoka-Ramsey Community College hopes to get a piece of that funding.
Our nursing program is really a flagship program.
With the second largest nursing program in the state, Anoka-Ramsey Community College put their flagship offering on display. Members of the House Capital Investment Committee streamed into Anoka-Ramsey on Wednesday to see the nursing and business programs. The college is requesting $16 million from the state to modernize the aging building.
It was built in the early 70s, and no one envisioned students bringing laptops to class then, so our plug-ins are inadequate. Our Wi-Fi, we need a lot better Wi-Fi service down here.
As the population ages and medical advancements continue, college president Kent Hansen says nursing instruction must evolve too.
We can simulate almost anything in these labs with mannequins that they can sweat, we can push buttons and increase their heart rate, blood pressure, and then the student has to kind of work through what's going on with the patient.
With state funding, the college hopes to expand classrooms and improve technology to keep pace as the demand for qualified nurses and enrollment at Anoka-Ramsey continues to grow.
It's really in the student's best interest, it's in our community's best interest, and if you're a patient out there, it's in your best interest too.
For CTN Update, I'm Jennifer Anderson.
Anoka-Ramsey received more than $500,000 from the state bonding bill in 2018 to cover design work for the project. If included in next year's bonding bill, construction would begin next fall and take about a year to complete. Also during the stop at Anoka-Ramsey, lawmakers learned more about a proposed pedestrian bridge over Coon Rapids Boulevard. The city would like to partner with the state to build the $4.5 million bridge. The goal of the project is to create a safe regional trail crossing as part of the city's large Port River Walk redevelopment plan. Traffic in the area reaches 31,000 vehicles a day.
This is an area that has had a number of accidents in and around this particular location. So there's a lot of traffic, a lot of vehicles. Mixing pedestrians, bicyclists is always kind of a bit of a tricky thing to deal with when you have a very busy area.
The pedestrian bridge would connect trails that lead to 2 regional parks and other regional trails. The city has committed to paying for at least half of the project cost. A portion of Foley Boulevard closed this week for a construction project that will last for most of the month. Foley Boulevard is closed between Northdale Boulevard and 121st Avenue. The Sand Creek culvert system is being replaced as part of a street reconstruction project. The work requires the full closure of Foley Boulevard at the Sand Creek crossing located between 117th and 118th Avenues. Local access is being maintained for nearby residents. The work should be finished by the end of the month. You might assume basketball is a two-handed sport, but then you probably haven't met the speaker who visited Coon Rapids High School this week.
7.5 billion people on this planet. You all have a nub, something you'd want to change about yourself. ADD, another nub. Dyslexia, another nub. If you own it, you don't have any weaknesses. Own them all and you won't. If you can own it, the world can too.
That's Kevin Atlas. Though he was born with only one hand, Kevin once made headlines for playing Division I basketball and going pro in Asia. Now Kevin travels around the world as a motivational speaker. He helps students at Coon Rapids High School kick off a new school year with a big dose of positivity. His message for students: believe in yourself and appreciate others.
And these kids, they all want to be appreciated, yet they're so slow to appreciate others. This school in particularly has great school spirit, but let's elevate that. Because if you can create a unity in a high school where love and kindness spreads through the hallways instead of being judgmental, cliques, bullying, gossip, then that's how you change that depression, that anxiety. That's how you save these kids.
Kevin was the featured speaker at this year's Start of School Pep Fest. Among the other events was the annual Tug of War contest. This year, the staff team came out on top. For the first time, the Broadway musical Bright Star is being performed by a professional cast here in Minnesota. They're taking center stage at a theater with more than 2 decades of history in Anoka. CTN's Dan Carpenter has a preview from the Lyric Arts Main Street stage.
After 6 months of extensive preparations,
it's really hitting that center cluster a lot.
these lights will shine on the bluegrass musical Bright Star. Written by Steve Martin and Edie Brickell and based on a true story.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There we go, that's it. It's a woman who is the editor of a literary magazine who comes across a soldier just returning home from the war, from World War II, and there's something about him that makes her think about her own past.
You know, maybe one of the photos.
Katie Rosanes plays Alice Murphy in Asheville, North Carolina in the 1920s. The audience first meets her as a 16-year-old girl.
She's very confident, very smart, very flirty, and very ambitious.
But the next 22 years hold challenges and hardship.
Darkness fell on me. You see how those have affected who she's become. A little bit cold, a little bit jaded, but still very strong.
Squirm a little before that, are you sure?
Resident director Scott Ford works directly with 21 cast members as the musical transitions to the 1940s.
The script is structured in a way where you are as aware of the storytelling as you are of the story itself, so you sort of enjoy it on 2 levels.
Central to this musical is bluegrass, played live on stage, not hidden from the audience.
When it's joyful, it's really joyful, and when it's sad, there's nothing sadder than a sad bluegrass song, you know.
The curtain will rise for 4 weekends in September. Reporting from Lyric Arts Main Street stage in Anoka, I'm Dan Carpenter for CTN Update.
Bright Star opens this evening and runs Thursdays through Sundays through the end of September. Tickets can be purchased online at lyricarts.org. The box office is also open 90 minutes before the start of each performance. If you like to watch movies in the park, you're in luck this month. Due to a rainout earlier this summer, 2 films will be shown at Sand Creek Park in the coming weeks. Mary Poppins Returns on Saturday, September 14th, and Goosebumps 2 on Saturday, September 21st. Both features will start at 7:30 p.m. The movies are free and concessions are available for purchase. All right, that's going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here again next week.